In this video, we are going to talk about what is a type 1 and type 2 error, which error is more significant. We are also going to understand some of the important terms like null hypothesis, alternate hypothesis, critical region, and we'll also look at how to calculate type 1 and type 2 error. Now let's first consider a scenario where there's a phone company with, let's say, it makes a phone A and it manufactures this particular phone with a standard process, and through this particular standard process the average lifetime of the phones come out to be mu A. Now the company claims that if it produces this particular same phone with a new process, then it would be able to increase the lifetime of the phone, and the lifetime of the phone would be, let's say, mu B. Now this could result in three cases. So the first one being that the new process is actually more effective than the standard process. More effective than the standard process. The second one being that new process is equally effective than the standard process, and the third one being that new process is less effective than the standard process. Now let's understand what is null hypothesis and alternate hypothesis with the help of this particular example. Actually the null hypothesis is the hypothesis of equality. Hypothesis is nothing but an assumption that we make. So in this case, if we make an assumption that the lifetime of phone A produced by the standard process and the lifetime of phone A produced by the new process is equal, and our null hypothesis is denoted by H naught, which would be that our mu A equals to mu B, since this is the hypothesis of equality. Now, what is alternate hypothesis? Alternate hypothesis is the hypothesis alternate to this one. Now, let's say the company claims that the new process is much more effective than the standard process. That means the lifetime has improved significantly. So, our alternate hypothesis in this case would be that mu A is less than mu B, since mu B is the lifetime of phones with a new process. So, it will be greater than the mu A, that is the lifetime with the standard process. Now let's also understand what is a critical region. So let's say I give you these three equations, that is x1 plus x2 is less than or equal to 1, then x1 is greater than 0 and x2 is greater than 0. So if let's say we plot these equations on the graph, then we have that this is x1 axis, this is x2 axis, then we have the points 1 comma 0 and 0 comma 1 satisfying our equations. So we get and this is origin, then we have 1 1. We'll be plotting a dotted line, and we would say that anything under this area is acceptable and anything out of this particular area is not acceptable, that is this particular region. So this is the same case as saying what is a critical region. So we say that this is the region of acceptance while this is the region of rejection. Let's also understand this in the terms of our example as well. Now suppose that if our test is based on a sample size of 2, that is, let's say, x1 and x2, then we know that we can separate our outcome in two regions, that is, let's say we have this particular region as W and this particular region as W complement. So that is the acceptance region, and this is the critical region, that is the rejection region. Now we can say that if our sample point falls in the subset W, that is the acceptance region, then we accept our H naught, that is our null hypothesis, while if it falls in the rejection region, that is the critical region W complement, then we can say that we reject H naught. Now let's consider this, that in reality either our H0 could be true or our H1 could be true, while the decision that we could make would be either to reject H0 or to accept H0. Now let's say we reject our H0 while our H0 is true. That means this is wrong. That is, we are rejecting H0 given our H0 is true. This is type 1 error. Now we have H0 is true and we are accepting H0. That means this is right. Now we have our H1 is true and we are rejecting H0. That is also right. While our H1 is true and we are accepting H0. That is wrong. Accept H0 when H1 is true. This is our type 2 error. Now, if we go back to our particular example that we started with, you would remember that our H0 was mu A equal to mu B, that is the lifetime of the phones produced by the standard and the new procedure were same, while HA or H1, since our alternate hypothesis denoted by either of these, so this is equals to mu of A is less than mu of B, that is the phone produced by the new process was actually more effective than the phone produced by the standard process. Now let's consider this particular scenario in which we are rejecting H0 where H0 is true. That means the phone company has claimed that the phone produced by the new process will be more effective, but actually it is equally effective. So that means our H0 is true. So in this case we have a type 1 error. So what happens in this case is that the brand has ultimately failed to be more effective. That means the image of the phone company has now declined and it has incurred a loss due to that reason. Now let's consider the second case where we have accept H0 and our H1 is true. That is, the phone company did not say about how effective the phone is and it said it is equally effective. That is, the lifetime of both the phones was same while our H1 is true. Now, if the phone company had claimed that our mu B was significantly greater than our mu A, then it had an opportunity there, right? So that means now that it did not claim that it was more effective, that means it has incurred an opportunity loss. And in this case, we have decline in image. Now it's up to the company. Now it's up to the use case of the company itself that which of the loss it considers to be more dangerous. While in this case we have that since this is a phone company, our decline in image is more harmful. Now consider this particular scenario. There's a weather forecast company and let's say there is some assumptions that a life-threatening event is to be occurred. Now what will happen is, let's say that we have our H0, that is the hypothesis of equality, as that nothing would happen, that is no life-threatening event would occur. And let's say that our HA, that is the alternate hypothesis, is that a life-threatening event would occur. Now let's first consider what will be the type 1 error. So type 1 error is basically reject H0 when H0 is true, right? So in this case what would happen is, we are saying that H0 is true, that means no life-threatening event would occur, but the forecast company has claimed that something would occur. So this is a false warning. Now let's consider the type 2 error in which which is basically the probability that we accept H0 given H1 is true. When H1 is true, which means that a life-threatening event would occur, while the forecast company has now claimed that it won't occur. So this could mean that there is a potential loss of lives. So that is pretty dangerous. So that is why we cannot particularly say which of the type 1 and type 2 error are dangerous, because that depends on the company's use case. Now let's see, we have our alpha, that is also called as level of significance. This is equals to probability of type 1 error, that is rejecting H0 when our H0 is true, which is equals to probability, that means our X lies in the rejection region given H0. And also our beta is probability of type 2 error, that means that probability that we accept H0 while our H1 is true, that is our X lies in the acceptance region while our H1 is true. We also know that the power of the test, that is 1 minus beta, is that is given by 1 minus beta, that is 1 minus the probability of type 2 error. So this is actually the power of the test. Now let's see how we can solve problems on how to calculate type 1 and type 2 error. So let's say we have this particular example in which we have that x greater than equal to 1 is the critical region for testing our H0, that is theta is equals to 2. So we know that our H0 is given by theta is equals to 2, while our H1 is theta is equals to 1. Now we have a single observation from the population, and we have our PDF as theta into e to the power minus theta x for our x lying for our x to be positive. Now we have to obtain the sizes of type 1 and type 2 error. Now we actually mean that we have to calculate the probability of type 1 and type 2 error. Now in this case, let's say our critical region is denoted by omega. So our critical region is actually that our x is greater than equal to 1, x such that x is greater than equal to 1, while our acceptance region, which is denoted by omega complement, is equals to x such that our x is less than 1. First let's calculate the probability of type 1 error. So probability of type 1 error is given by probability of rejecting H0 while our H0 is true. That means that the probability that our x lies in the critical region, that is our x is greater than equal to 1, given our H0, that is theta is equals to 2. Now we have seen that the PDF in this case is given by theta into e to the power minus theta x for our x greater than equal to 0. Now we need to calculate our probability that our x is greater than equal to 1 given theta is equals to 2. So our f of x comma 2, since our theta is equals to 2, we have 2 into e to the power minus 2x for our x greater than equal to 0. Now probability of type 1 error would be equal to integration 1 till infinity 2 into e raised to the power minus 2x dx. Now this is equals to 2, since 2 is the constant, so we take that out, e to the power minus 2x upon minus 2, then we have our range as 1 to infinity. Now this is equals to e to the power minus 2, which is equals to 1 upon e square. Now let's also calculate the probability of type 2 error. So probability of type 2 error is given by probability that we are accepting H0 given our H1 is true. So we have to calculate this particular probability where we have to see what is the acceptance region. So we know that the acceptance region is given by x less than 1. So we have to find the probability x less than 1 given our H1 is true, that is our theta is equals to 2. That means our theta is equals to 1. Now we have our fx comma 1 given by e to the power minus x for our x greater than equal to 0. Now we have to calculate the probability of type 2 error. So we have probability x less than 1 given our theta is equals to 1 is equals to, now we'll integrate 0 till 1 e to the power minus x dx. So this is equals to e to the power minus x, and then we have a minus, and we have a range as 0 to 1. So we have e to the minus of e to the power minus 1 minus 1. So this is equals to 1 minus 1 upon e. So this is our probability of type 2 error. Probability type 2 error. Now if you also have to calculate the power of the test, then it is given by 1 minus probability of type 2 error. So that is equals to 1 minus beta, that is equals to 1 upon e. Now with this we come to the end of our video. Thank you.